Hey, Michelle. Michelle,
Yes, dear. What do you need?
can you do me a favor? I need you to listen to this. I'm writing a letter to the BSR as a farewell letter. I just want to run it by a few people, and I was wondering if I could run it by you, and you could tell me your thoughts. Is that cool?
Yep.
All right. You got a moment to do this?
All for you.
Thank you. Okay. Here we go. July 23rd, 2020. To all my BSR colleagues, and really anyone else who is listening to this. At the end of July, I'll be leaving my role as the Business Services Coordinator after nearly a decade serving the Triangle South Workforce Development Board directly, and much of what we think of as the workforce development system here in North Carolina indirectly. Over the years, I have seen many seasoned folks get to the point where it is time to take the next step in their careers. At times, their departure is accompanied by a farewell letter thanking everyone they have worked with and offering their best wishes for the years ahead. I always liked that idea, and I thought that if I'm going to write a farewell missive, then I should try to include a little something for everyone, even those that only knew me through a CC on an email chain or who got a basketball from me at the partnership conference, or maybe as that guy who talked too much during that class at the training center. But what to say? I decided the best thing that I could do is to share a few of the things I learned over the years that have helped me to better serve in this world of workforce development. It is my hope that these little kernels of knowledge will help anyone listening to this to be the best they can be. Here are 5 things I believe will be of value to new BSRs and really for anyone in our system. They are in no particular order. Number 1. Workforce is about following the federal guidelines first. Everything else follows. This is a bit hard to wrap your head around, especially if you are from the private sector like many of the BSRs are. We can't forget we are in the business of implementing these rules first and foremost. They take the form of TEGLs, state policies, local board policies, and many others, but it all goes back to Washington. You do not just serve businesses. You serve businesses according to the plan laid out by Congress, who are the ultimate decision makers. Everyone knows this, but deeply understanding it changes every aspect of what we do. It is worth taking time to reflect on this fact often and in relation to the many different aspects of your job. This understanding can help better focus you. It'll help alleviate stress and help you formulate stronger long-term strategies in your area of responsibility. It even changes the day-to-day conversation with our businesses. And speaking of our business customers, number 2, employers always want what we cannot deliver, but they can benefit from what we have. Employers are people like you and me who live in the age of Amazon. They are accustomed to a world built around one-click purchases that are delivered tomorrow at the lowest possible price. In our world, that means they can, and often do, call you on a Friday asking for 20 skilled workers who are willing to take a few bucks above minimum wage and start the following Monday. We have to be the ones to tell them to think long term, and the best solution is to help us build the workforce they want through various efforts. Some can do this, some cannot, at least not yet. My advice: be highly effective with the ones who can partner with you in the way we work best, and then use that success to bring along the others. Number 3, regarding being effective. Your workforce partners are your lifeline because we simply can't do it alone. The secret to success with them is to support them with all your heart and never forget their core, but sometimes unstated, focus in all you do with them. What do I mean by core focus? Your higher ed partners need enrollments. Your economic developers need press releases announcing new or expanded businesses. VR needs placements. Everyone has a core mission. This even extends to your team. Your director is always trying to balance uncounted influences and system requirements. Your board staff is always targeting accountability and performance. You must really understand the challenges and goals of your partners so you can help them as much or more than they are helping you. This creates a highly virtuous cycle for everyone. Number 4, you cannot help your partners, your businesses, and your team unless you learn all you can. Every webinar, every vendor call, every business meeting and every conference is valuable in that they all contain information that someone needs. There's even economics and business podcasts that you can listen to on the road, which will include incredibly useful information for stakeholders. Be as proactive as you can be in learning about everyone and everything you come across. Also, never forget that success with this information does not come from holding it. The real value is in getting that information out there as much as you can. The more you know, the more you can share. The more you share, the more value you can bring to everyone. Number 5. When connecting, we can and should remember to connect to the whole system, including the folks in Raleigh. Develop relationships with the amazing and sometimes under-the-radar teams at the training center, business services, and even the monitors, among others who call Chapanoke home. The more folks you know well enough to pick up the phone and call with a question, or even just to check in and see how they are doing, the more value you can bring to them. Let me underscore that. Emails are nice, but you should pick up the phone and do it often. You will never learn someone's kid raise their grade from a C to an A in math if you don't talk. This goes far beyond professional networking. It moves into the realm of doing. Take part with gusto. Join a local board as a board member. Volunteer to assist industry groups at trade conferences. Take the time to really explain our system to people who are trying to engage it. These can be new entrants at a partner agency or vendors with interesting products. Do it even if your board personally can't use them. It is even wise to spend some time helping job-seeking career center customers, as that really grounds you in reality. Everyone is important, even tangentially, so treat everyone like they're your director. Number 6. I know, I said 5 things, but here's the most important thing of all. Don't give up even when things don't make sense or get tough. Our system changes very slowly. We operate on annual cycles, so it takes a few of them to figure out what new things work and what doesn't. My go-to example is how it took the majority of my career to get a good business-oriented CRM across the system. But that is just one of many different initiatives. No matter what you see, what you disagree with, or what you think is half right, just keep giving it 110% every day no matter what. We will get there, eventually. There is more I can say, but I want to keep this somewhat short, at least for me. I did much of what I espoused here, and that's truly helped me serve at the highest levels. It's also created a list with way too many names to mention in individual thanks. But I have definitely been reflecting on how much I will miss all of you as my daily routine changes. You are in my mind and heart. For now, I'll just keep it light and say so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, goodbye, and thanks for all the box lunches. I'll miss you all more than I can say. What'd you think?
It's good.
That's it?
Okay, so it was good, but don't you think you can shorten it just a little bit?
Are you kidding me? This was the short version.
Of course it is. I did like parts of it. I like that it highlights the key points that you've touched on for the last 8 years. And I think part of you will miss it, but I also think that part of you is ready to move on to the next adventure in your life.
You're right. I'm definitely going to miss connecting the people. I'm definitely going to miss the interactions that you get at the conferences. I'm going to miss the just walking around and having something to offer somebody who maybe has a now hiring sign on their window, and just walking in and giving them my card and just starting to talk to them, or getting a beer at House of Hops or whatever, and just like listening to somebody talk about they can't find the right job and saying, hey, listen, let me tell you about this.
You won't stop doing that. You'll just say, hey, you need to contact so-and-so.
I don't know about that. I think I'm ready to be done. I say that because there's a lot of stuff I'm just not going to miss. I'm not going to miss stressing about being a BSR because it's a stressful job. I'm not going to miss worrying about the day-to-day details. I'm not going to miss always having to be on, always having to think about the things I need to do. I'm not going to miss the daily stresses. I'm not going to miss having to think about this 24/7. It's what I do. When I'm plugged into being a BSR, I'm 24/7, always on. Wake up in the middle of the night, I'm thinking about it. In the morning, I'm up. I'm usually checking emails at 4 a.m. That part of my life is over. Not going to stress about it. not going to think about it, and that's just how it's going to be. Hold on a second. Let me get this. Hello, this is Mike.
Hey, Mike, this is Jennifer and Scott calling from Commerce. How are you doing today?
Hey, Mike.
Hey, good to hear from you. How are you guys doing?
We are doing great. How are things going there during this wonderful pandemic?
We're doing pretty good, except for maybe some of the challenges related to the internet.
Yeah, I'll bet business services is pretty difficult for reps who are trying to visit businesses from their own home.
Oh yeah, it's been tough for the whole system. But you didn't call to hear about my internet woes. What's on your mind?
Well, Mike, we've been talking a little bit between ourselves and wondered if you would be interested in helping us out with a new and exciting project.
Okay, continue.
It is so awesome. It is a podcast for BSRs or business-facing folks around the state.
That sounds pretty cool, but why do I have a feeling that there's an ulterior motive and you didn't just call me up to tell me about this really cool podcast idea because you know I'm into podcasts and you want to pick my brain?
Well, actually, Mike, we had this wonderful idea that we could get you involved in this podcast project.
Before you say anything, Jennifer and I thought long and hard about this, and we're trying to go around with all the folks that we interact with to see who would be the right person. And based on your 8 years of experience as a BSR and your familiarity with podcasts, we couldn't think of a better person to pull this off.
First, thanks for buttering me up. I appreciate it, but you could have stopped at podcast and I still would have said yes. All right, I'm in.
That's great.
Awesome, Mike.
Okay, let me think about it a little bit. Let me put some ideas together. I figure if we're going to do this, we should probably focus on stuff that all the new BSRs need to know and maybe also some great reminders for some of the more seasoned folks.
I love it. Can't wait.
Me too. That sounds great.
Cool. Then I'll give you a call next week and we'll set a time to get started.
Sounds good.
Okay, talk to you next week.
This is great. Thank you, Mike.
All right, Mike, we'll talk later, man. See ya.
Bye.
So much for being done with it.
Not another word.